Already gorgeous. All right. Well, good evening, everybody. It is Michelle Poe here from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and I can't even tell you how excited I am for you. How excited and blessed we are to be here together to give you information that was introduced to us some years ago that has completely transformed our health, completely transformed the life that we live in terms of being able to serve, give back, to just go out and just make meaningful relationships with people that want to make a difference in this world. This company, LifeVantage, is real. And so as you're here tonight, I just want you to take notes. As you are taking notes, if a person pops into your mind, please write their name down, because I firmly believe that when somebody pops into your mind, there's a purpose and a reason for it. And I can tell you tonight that you are going to be hearing from two cherished people in my life. And one of them is Dr. Melody Rodarte, and the other is my incredible husband, Mr. Shawn Poe. So I'm going to introduce you real quick. Like I said, my bio of this gorgeous woman has just kind of gone away. But let me just first tell you from my heart that Dr. Melody Rodarte is a dear friend, and thank God we met each other through this business. But she is an incredible friend. She's the first person to message if there is a need within family, within friends, to be there to just literally drop everything she's doing to just show up. She is somebody that I respect wholeheartedly in regards to raising her family, who I respect wholeheartedly when it comes to building a strong, incredible relationship with her best friend and her husband, and somebody that I respect who is not only building an incredible practice where she is about the patient first and getting to the root of why they are there seeing her, but really, really about making a difference in hearing them and seeing them for the individual. Because isn't that what we want when we go and see our providers, is to really be seen and heard? And so that's who she is. And she is a visionary. She is a person that goes out and is constantly researching the best of the best things. And how can she help not only her family, but the world make a difference within their bodies, to live a life of vitality, to live as long as possible, to be there for the most meaningful things in life. And she really sees all this and puts her name behind it. And that is a big deal that you guys are all going to have here tonight when it comes to that. So just know what you're listening to is real. And for those of you that are guests tonight, I just want to thank you for showing up here. We recognize that your time is very, very precious. We recognize that you could be anywhere. And I'm just, from my heart to you, thank you. And thank the person that invited you here tonight, because they deeply, deeply care that you get this information. Because believe it or not, you're one of the first people in the world to learn about activation and what it means at the cellular level in every aspect of your life and of your body. So I'm going to scroll back into my phone here since it didn't come up on my computer, but listen to this. Dr. Melody Rodarte is a double board certified internist and obesity medicine specialist in Arizona. She was named one of the Phoenix top doctors in obesity medicine in 2017, 2019, correct me if I'm wrong here, Melody, 2021, I'm going off memory, and 2022. Do you see what I mean? She is going after and helping her patients be the best of the best, and continues to be a top doctor, you guys. So this is important. She obtained her doctorate of osteopathic medicine from Midwestern University in 2002. She's also certified in hyperbaric medicine, wound care, and medical aesthetics. She served as chair of pharmacy of therapeutics in a committee for 5 years at her local hospital. She absolutely loves her personalized medicine and equipping her patients with tools to stay healthy, as well as getting to the root of their illnesses. She's been married to her incredible husband, Tony, for 22 years. and 24 years and have 19-year-old twins whom they love with the core. They love to travel the world and serve their community and internationally. And I think she may share hopefully a little bit of her story some more, but let me tell you as well, Melody, like I said, loves her husband so much and also knew that it was time for him to be retired. And so she did that with LifeVantage. And he was in 2018 and he was with the law enforcement, you guys, for over 20 years, a service family. And they also started a nonprofit. So can we just give a big warm welcome? You can get in the chat and thank Dr. Melody Rodarte for being here. Melody, I love you. I cherish you. Thank you for getting this information out to the world. And I'm going to turn it over to you. I'm so excited and grateful that you are here.
Thank you, Michelle. This is a blessing doing this with you and Shawn tonight. I have utmost respect for the two of you. And I'm like tearful. Like it's fun to do these types of things because I get excited to know who are we going to reach. And when I wasn't joking when I said, it doesn't matter if you don't have my bio in front of you, I'm okay with it. I just want to give people the information and just learn, because sometimes I listen to it and I'm like, it's okay. We don't have to go through it, but it's also a wonderful thing to be recognized by your community. So I do just humbly accept when I reach those, the lists that come out every year. So it's definitely something I definitely love, but more than that is truly helping people slow down the aging process, live their best life. And that is what led me to medicine. I wanted to be a doctor since I was 5 years old. My mom can tell you all about it. I'll share her story in through this. But what I noticed as I got into medicine is I wanted to be a personal doctor. I wanted to combine Eastern and Western medicine. And I loved being the adult doctor. And that's what I'm excited for you guys to hear tonight. When you have a relationship with your healthcare team, more happens. And so I don't want you to be flustered if what you're hearing tonight you haven't heard from your healthcare team. A lot of this is new. And I will tell you, when I heard about this, I was thinking in my head, how is this true and why hasn't this information got to me? So I'll share in a little bit an ABC Primetime Investigative Report that I secretly didn't want to have the facial expressions of excitement as I was watching it, because I thought it was too good to be true and I had to research it, because I am a researcher. I do evidence-based medicine, and that is extremely important to me. But I'll tell you the reason why I'm thankful for this company is because in 2014, I was looking for something for my son and for my family. My son has an autoimmune condition. Traditional medicine was failing him. As you might have heard Michelle say that I did wound care and hyperbaric medicine. Well, guess what? You talk about nutrition. You put up IVs of vitamin C and all kinds of things. My kids were blessed to have my mom make their food, so I wasn't really worried about that. I talked about supplements with my patients, but my son wasn't healing. And the next answer was a medication, which I didn't want to put him on. And I am so happy that I sent my dad to my favorite ophthalmologist, and he said I had to take a look at something, and his wife met with me and shared this with me. And so I'm forever grateful for that, for being one, open, and two, someone taking a minute out of their time to say, I want to share something that's helping me. It might help you. He had no clue that my son was suffering with an autoimmune condition. But he did know that my patients who came to him, I always talked about nutrition and they were on supplements, and that I did my research. And so he thought of me, and I am so grateful for that. So with that being said, and he didn't even know my mom was going through her second bout of breast cancer. So in my head, I'm thinking, what am I going to do to protect my genes? Because I'm healthy. So all of those things were going in through my head. So no matter what you can, and however you were invited to this webinar, I want you to have an open mind of how can you slow down the aging process? How can you turn on your genes? How can you turn off your genes? Okay, you want some to be turned on and some to be turned off. And how do you go forward with protecting how your cells age? You are in control. So don't let anyone say that you're stuck with a diagnosis or you're going to be on medications for the rest of your life. I love it. My last patient of the day today said, I punked her body. I'm like, oh my gosh, you grew up in the 80s and 90s. We don't say that word anymore. And it's because we tricked it. And I was able to take her off five more medications today. I loved it. So you have to find a healthcare team that wants to work with you. You don't need to have a pharmacy in the cabinet and just keep adding. Okay. So with that, I can talk long. I'm going to be simple tonight, and I'm going to share my screen, and then you'll get to hear from the wonderful Shawn Poe after myself. So let me share my screen. Let's see here. Play button. If this will move up, I can hit play. It's not going to let me hit play. There we go. I learned it. Just needed to use my mouse. All right, everyone. So what I want to start off with is kind of how I started off, because I think it's important to kind of go back to that. So many people, I met with someone yesterday who said, tell me your story. People want to know my story too, not that I'm just a doctor that, is on the scientific advisory board of the company and can talk till she's blue in the face about this. And so what was introduced to me was this ABC Primetime Investigative Report. And the importance of it is it's where the story started. Dr. Joe McCord discovered SOD, superoxide dismutase. You're going to hear that a couple times through this webinar. And he was brilliant in finding this amazing antioxidant and did his whole life to really study this, figure out ways of activating this. And so just think about that. We have incredible antioxidants in our own body, and we want to activate those so that we can heal, so our bodies can take care of itself, that we don't have to take so many antioxidants. We want to activate our body to do that. And he did. He devoted his career in reducing oxidative stress, the root of how disease starts and continues. So he developed this little yellow activator in 2003, and it was creating a buzz. And that's when John Quinones decided to go in and do an investigative report. And who doesn't love listening to John Quinones? Because you learn something and you usually go, thank you for saving me money. And instead of this, it really propelled the story where I had my financial advisor. I'm going to talk about my story because at the same time, you heard Michelle say, I wanted to retire my husband. I wanted my husband to start healing from everything he had seen. And we were looking at buying a franchise. And I told my financial advisor, can you look into this company for me? And I love that he said it's publicly traded. It's on the NASDAQ. If you're going to tell me that this product is real, I'm going to tell you that this opportunity is real. And that's where my story starts. So let's take a few minutes. And I'm going to, let's see if I can click on it this way. There we go. Let's watch the ABC.
Turning back the clock? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment. For me, it begins with a blood test.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company.
They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing. The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. So the result, oxidative stress. and we all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells.
So, doctor, how often do I take these?
And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment. It's called Protandim, and tests have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age, but taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old. So just what's in this seemingly incredible pill? Well, actually, its roots are very humble. Protandim is a combination of 5 plant ingredients. Some you may know: green tea or turmeric, a spice used in Indian cooking. Others, Withania somnifera and Silybum marianum, are more exotic. High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses.
It's at the very center of many diseases: liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma, all of these, strokes, heart attacks,
Even mental disease.
yes,
Depression?
Alzheimer's disease, depression.
But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. The result? My level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically. Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after. Have we turned back the clock? Maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed.
We do know that oxidative stress is part of those disease processes. I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old and find out that I should have taken it.
The company that makes Protandim says its tests show the pill, made from ingredients used for centuries, is absolutely safe. For more, go to our website at abcnews.com.
So after that aired, people actually did go to abcprimetime.com to learn more. But you know what was even bigger than that? Major universities and people doing research also did it. And they asked if they could start research on this little yellow pill. And that's what excited me. So this is why I had a game face as I watched ABC Primetime. And I went home and I typed in Protandim into a site called pubmed.gov, because that's where we all go to look at peer-reviewed published data. And 8 years ago, there were 16 studies for me to thumb through where I couldn't sleep because I was downloading them all and continuing to read. Today, if you do it, you're going to see over 30 articles in there. And that's the joy of this in medicine, is there are continuous research that is happening and publication. And so you might be thinking, geez, this started in 2003. Unfortunately, in medicine, it takes 5, 10, 15 years for some things to change. And we're going to be getting into 2023. And yet you can't even ask your regular doctor about an NRF2 activator unless you have probably MS or some other neurodegenerative disease right now. So I don't want you to be frustrated if you haven't heard about it yet. Be thankful instead, have a grateful heart. Someone wanted to share this with you, and that you can go and read about this as well. So this is what excited me seeing it. So let's take a step back, because you might hear a word, oxidative stress, that you might not have heard about before. I think COVID has definitely brought this word up, because we were always worried about, oh, those with a lot of oxidative stress, those that have, this are at more risk. Well, what is oxidative stress? It's kind of that wear and tear that's happening. It's the breakdown that happens of our cells as well as innate objects. A beautiful picture is cutting an apple in half or peeling a banana. What happens? As it's oxidizing, it's browning, it's oxidizing. And that's a great visual for you. So the food we eat, the water we drink, the toxins, what we're around continues to age us. And what we want to do is we want to reduce oxidative stress. And in the past, we unfortunately didn't talk a lot about it because we didn't have an answer for it. And you'll notice medicine likes to have answers. And so if they don't have an answer, they're not going to talk about it. So what happens when you do not control oxidative stress? Well, it affects a cell that makes up a tissue, that makes up an organ, that makes up our body. And depending on how your genes are expressed or how my genes are expressed, you're going to see this myriad of different issues with these tissues and these organs. And so you might be looking through there and you're picking things that either you have, your neighbor has, your parents might have, and hopefully your wheels are turning going, oh my gosh, I didn't know this. I can actually slow this process down and reverse it, or potentially prevent it from turning on. That's what caught my eye. And that's really why I think preventative medicine, functional medicine, integrative medicine is so popular right now, because we talk about this, getting down to the root and treating that part instead of trying to treat a symptom and calling it disease treatment. Okay. And so Protandim is incredible. It reduces oxidative stress by an average of 40% in 30 days, up to 70% with continued use. And there's that word again, superoxide dismutase. It is increased by 30%. Catalase is another antioxidant by 54%. And I'm going to be bold. If you haven't heard about glutathione in the past 2 years, you're living under a rock. This is a really incredible antioxidant. You need this. Your liver needs this to detoxify in phase 1 and phase 2 detoxification. Glutathione is incredible. Protandim increases it by 300%. And what is Protandim? It's ashwagandha, bacopa, milk thistle, green tea, and turmeric. I'm pretty sure you've heard of most of these things, if not to cook with them, but to take it because someone told you to. So I'm telling you, this is perfect because it's a recipe that's patented, backed by science, and you don't have to go figure out which brand and how much to take. It's put there together for you. And this is the only dietary supplement proven to extend life in male mouse. This was a 10-year span done by the NIH. And it's incredible that it was the only natural product to extend life. I'm signing up for that one, because if you've heard me talk, I say, I want to grow old slowly, kicking and screaming, meaning I'm active. I want to play with my kids, my grandkids, my great grandkids. So that's health span. That's the importance of that. So if you're like me, you like visuals too. And so think of this. Do you want to neutralize one free radical at a time or a million free radicals at a time? I like the right-hand side more. I want to activate NRF2 because I want to neutralize as many free radicals at a time instead of a 1-to-1 ratio. So Michelle mentioned I'm an obesity medicine doc. So I'm going to tell you to eat your oranges, your blueberries, your broccoli, because what we eat makes a difference. And a poor diet can increase your oxidative stress. But you can't eat 400 oranges in a day because I'm going to tell you your blood sugar is going to spike. So there's a balance here. So you do want to still have a great nutrition, but you also want to activate those cells. And so Protandim NRF2 is a great way of doing that. And so this is what Washington State University states about NRF2 activation, potentially the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. 2 words there, prevention and therapy. And this is this is a process that can happen inside your cell. We can activate it in multiple ways that is doing this. That's the incredible part about this. Our bodies are just amazing, just amazing. And so I'm going to transition. If you didn't know about Protandim, my heart, that is my flagship product. The flagship product, I tell people you have to pry it out of my dead hands. I will always be on this, but this is the next product that is really making a splash, for lack of a better term. I love our liquid collagen, and we are noticing that it is working through that same pathway of NRF2. And the reason why we want to spend time with this liquid collagen is because we just released it and we are just amazed with what we're seeing, that the company outsold by 400% of what was expected. That's because people are seeing results before we even thought they would see results. And I'm the first person to tell you, I wasn't jumping up and down for joy that they were coming out with the liquid collagen, because I talked to my patients about collagen, and I always say, let's find a clean one for you. I already had a couple that I could recommend to my patients and my friends, and even what I was putting in my coffee or in my smoothie every day. So I'm thinking to myself, why are we doing a Me Too product? Well, when we put it together, and hopefully after my next few slides, you're going to notice that we are not a Me Too product. We're actually trailblazers again by activating collagen instead of replenishing or just maintaining collagen. That is why we're seeing the results that we're seeing. So collagen is important. You may or may not, I'm going to say you probably have heard of collagen. It's been a buzzword for the last few years. And it's because it starts to decrease in your mid 20s. It's kind of one of those things you're like, really? And you start noticing it when you're working out, or now your hair is falling out, or your skin's not, as tight. So people start looking at a collagen supplement for that. And then as you get into your 40s and 50s, they're like, my joints are hurting even more. What can I do? My memory's declining, all of those types of things. And so it's probably across the board where a 20-year-old could talk about what collagen are you on, and an 80-year-old could talk about what collagen are you on. So it's incredible the conversations we can have about collagen. So I like anatomy, and I'm not going to go into depth. I like the simplicity of this one. You have the top layer of skin, and then you've got your epidermis. That's the top layer. Then you've got the dermis underneath. That's where all the fun cells really are. And that's where collagen is needing to be made and maintained, because it's helping to lift that top layer and give it that pretty glow. And so you don't have, dips and crevices in there that give that wrinkleness. You want it to, when you pinch it up, for it to go back down pretty fast. That's where the work of collagen is happening. That's also where the cells making collagen and increasing moisture is happening. So think of it that way, that all of that's happening in that small little space. So why did we choose to do liquid? Well, I'm going to tell you, we don't absorb things very well in America or across the world, because what we're doing to our food and what we've done to our gut. So it's actually better to have it liquid, because now it's broken down into easy pieces that your body can absorb right away and put into action. So that's why we chose to do a liquid. It's more effective, is having a liquid. We don't have to worry about who is ingesting it and whether or not they can break it down, because we want to see results. So that's why it's liquid. How did we make it a liquid? Through a water process. So there's no chemicals in doing this extraction. That's really important, because we're seeing so many issues with our population with not being able to, one, absorb, or two, break things down, and having sensitivities to things. So why a liquid? It's more bioavailable. And so what else is making our collagen different? Well, I kind of hinted to it before. We're activating collagen to be produced and to slow down its degradation. Huge here. So we're replenishing it and we're maintaining it. So let's get into it. So the key ingredient is this ruby red quinoa extract. And so this extract is activating collagen synthesis and actually decreasing its resorption. I'm going to show you that in another slide, but that's the key ingredient here. And so these are the genes that you'll see that are listed that are activating collagen synthesis. You're going to see SOD in there again. Remember, I've kind of pointed it out a few times here. It's activated by 2,700%. That's incredible. And then you're also going to see the gene that those of you who were invited that are in medicine, you're going to see that MMP9 gene, and you're going to go like, oh my gosh, it's decreased. There are not very many ways of decreasing the way this is expressed, and ruby red quinoa extract does it. And that is why we are seeing the results we are seeing. So we get our collagen from marine or fish. It's a great source of collagen peptides, and there are 10 different types. It's ethically sourced. And then we have berry and citrus fruit extracts. And so vitamin C, you can ingest it. It doesn't really happen to, get to the skin cells very well. So it's better to do it in certain forms. And that's what we've done here. We've been able to do extracts by blueberry, young pumpkin, and acerola berry. They're really strong in their antioxidant production, and our bodies love it. It is not inflammatory to our bodies. And so we need these extracts to help our collagen. Let's see here. So what does our collagen do? Well, we're reducing appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. Who doesn't like to slow down that aging of our skin? We're helping the elasticity, moisture, texture, tone. We want to reduce oxidative stress of our skin. It's the biggest organ in our body, and it shows everything. And so you want the oxidative stress to be reduced of your skin because it's that barrier against the environment as well. And we want healthy hair and nails, and we want to look young. So here are some numbers for those of you who are numbers people that came out of our 8-week clinical trial. And if you want us to share that with you, we can definitely do that with you as well. And so here's a great little summary that you can take a picture of, you can memorize if you want to, but what I want to know and what is it going to work for me? And so the best way that you're going to know is go on it for 30 days. Our company's incredible. They're going to let you try it for 30 days. Do it. You have nothing to lose. And I want you to take pictures. Pictures say so many things that you don't even know are happening when you go back and you look. And it tastes great. It tastes like appleberry. It almost is like you keep shaking it because you want more to come out when you're ingesting it. And so here's an incredible picture for those of you who are science geeks like I am. You can see how the collagen density is increasing by week 8. Just imagine what our numbers are going to look like as we continue our study. And so here are some pictures of people within 15 to 20 days. Get back to the person who invited you because there are a ton more pictures than I can share, but I'm going to slow down and share. Oh, you'll get to talk to Shawn here in a minute. I want to share the story of my mom here. My mom I love her. She has given me wings to fly since the day I was born. I am so grateful to her. She had a skin cancer on her face earlier this year and was reacting to everything that we were putting on it to heal. And I'm using a plastic surgeon who I know very well, a medical dermatologist who I actually trained before she even went on to where she went. And we were sad because what we were doing was not working. And liquid collagen came out and I put her on it. And you can see this is in 30 days. This weekend, I will take her 60-day pictures. And you can see how it looked like we took a flat iron to the part of it. It's not puckering, where we were actually going to go cut it again and approximating it because it was puckering and it continued to pucker instead of starting to flatten down. The redness went down and she got a bonus. Her dark circles beneath her eyes started to go away. Her crow's feet and her marionette started to look in, where people know I do medical aesthetics and they're like, you treated your mom. I'm like, I can't inject my mom. She reacts to everything. This is 30 days of liquid collagen. And so the other aspects is it's just helping her overall body as well. And I can go on and on what just NRF2 has done and liquid collagen in her. So she's my mama. Anyway, so just think about what's happening on the inside, because you can't always see what's happening on the inside, but boy, you can feel it. And I'm excited as we're seeing people 90 days out on this, especially if they were in the test group. The sky's the limit here. And that's why I will also start to say, I'm going to talk about this till I'm blue in the face and you'll have to pry it out of my dead hands. So it's one of my favorite products. So our company is, I love to say they're forward in their thinking. We want to activate. We are an activation company. We have other products that are activators like NRF1, which is for our mitochondria, our mighty mitochondria that make energy production, NAD. So many of us know about NAD. And then we have our first skincare line, hair care line that is our NRF2 activators. And then we have Axio that is NRF2 for the brain. I like to call it liquid brain food. So get back to the person who invited you to this webinar. You can learn more about these products and how we like to stack them. So you might be interested in gut health. And we've got an incredible probiotic and prebiotic. We have something called daily wellness, which I love. Those of you who are science geeks, go look up postbiotics. They're incredible. And I'm going to stop my screen. I'm going to introduce Shawn. I am so excited for you to meet him and hear from him. There we go. Hopefully, can you thumbs up? You can see me. Okay, good. It totally disappeared on my screen. But what I love about this company, I'm going to tell you all. So one, I was excited because I had an answer for my son to start taking, and I wanted to see what happened. Two, I wanted to see what was happening in my friends and my family and in my genes as well. And now that I have my own practice, I'm watching what it's doing in my own patients. And it's just incredible. But on the flip side, I was looking at buying a franchise with my husband, and I'm so glad we didn't sign the dotted line. And we took a chance on seeing what this company offered, because I could say the product was real, but I needed to know how this business worked. And I'm thankful for people like Shawn and Michelle. We got to meet in the very beginning because I didn't understand how this worked. I'd never heard of a business like this, and I didn't know if I could do this. And so I grabbed onto mentors in it who were ahead of me. And I said, show me what to do. Tell me what to do, because I want to keep sharing this and I want to know how to share this correctly, because as a doctor, I will talk your ear off, and hopefully I haven't done that tonight. And I've done it simple instead of, difficult. But that is where I love this. Shawn and Michelle have that passion, and Shawn is incredible at talking about this opportunity. And so I'm excited that you are on this webinar and that you're listening about this potential opportunity, because it can change your life. We got to retire my husband within a few years of starting this, and I got to start my own practice. And we did open a nonprofit so that we can continue to bless others, because we are being blessed by helping others. So with that, I'm going to introduce you to Shawn. Take it away. Thank you so much for sharing tonight with me.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Melody. Every time I listen, I absolutely learn more and more about this. I wish we could download into your heads everything that she knows about all of these products, because it keeps getting better and better. And as more science develops around these different pathways, it continues to just escalate what we have our hands on. And to me, you guys, once you understand the science, it's a no-brainer you're going to integrate these products into your health strategy. I think Protandim NRF2 is the absolute baseline. The collagen product, what we've seen over the last several months, is absolutely mind-blowing. But then we get into the probiotics and the prebiotics, Axio, our brain food. The skincare line is absolutely incredible. And again, the list goes on and on. We've grown so organically around that flagship product, Protandim NRF2. The sky's the limit with your health right now. I think we live in a world, though, that is really changing really, really fast. And especially what's transpired over the last couple of years. I don't think anybody out there is going to argue with me that the world has changed. But when I look on the business side of things, I look to see how we can take advantage of those changes and take information that we know and maximize it for our own potential. I'm a finance guy. I worked for one of the largest banking and financial institutions in the world prior to coming into network marketing. My wife and I, we didn't understand the first thing about nutrigenomics. We didn't understand the first thing about network marketing. But what I know in business is simply this, is that if you have a roadmap or a path that other people have proven to be successful, you can replicate the same actions and generate the same or similar results. And that's what I got excited about this, is because we didn't need a necessary skill set. There were people when I was hiring in the corporate world that I couldn't even interview because they didn't have a degree or a master's degree for some of the positions, which is crazy to me. And when we came into network marketing, it was such a level playing field that it doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter what your education level is. We work together to generate change in the world. And we do that in a lot of different capacities. We do that on the health side, like you just heard from Dr. Melody. We do it on the financial side through the business model, and we do it through personal development as well too. And that's what we're looking to do, is just make people better. So I'm so excited, especially the guests that are on here tonight, the people that are going to watch this replay, because the domino effect that this is going to have literally can change thousands, if not tens of thousands of people's lives, because you're open to information that the average person doesn't have. You guys, when I was in the corporate environment, I was looking for a way out. I felt trapped. You know, we had 2 little kids. We were living in an environment where I was spending most of my time away. I managed for a while the cash movement of $4 billion to $40 billion around the world in any given day. I was living in New York for almost 5 months of my youngest child's first 5 months of her life. I was missing them growing up. The last 3 years that I was with the company, and I don't want to say their name, but the last 3 years that I was with them, I managed the defaulted student loan portfolio. And so anything that went to court, litigation and collection efforts, if it went to court, I had to be there to serve as custodian of record for student loans. And so in both of those positions, I honestly, I wasn't the most liked guy in the room. And it was crushing my soul, as Michelle said at the very beginning. I wasn't the dad I should have been. I wasn't the husband I should have been. But when we want something different, we have to do something different. And so we've always been entrepreneurial, but I was looking for something that could allow me to have change. But it isn't easy. It isn't easy finding that. And some people never find it in their life. So again, I'm just thankful that you're here to hear this. And even if you're skeptical, what I would say is this, is be open-mindedly skeptical to see where this fits in with your life. To me, it's an absolute no-brainer. At a very minimum, you're going to integrate these products into your health strategy. When you understand the science, it's a no-brainer. And to me, in 5 years from now, it's not going to be a question of if you're upregulating and downregulating genes, it's how are you doing it? And I will contend all day long, we're in that changing environment. And on the health side of things, we're in a changing environment where people want to be more proactive with health instead of reactive. Would you guys agree with that? And people want to do it in a natural way as opposed to using synthetics and drugs when it's possible. And there's great aspects of Western medicine, but there's a lot of cool aspects of Eastern medicine where we can allow the body and the pharmacy that we've got inside of our body to unlock the potential that it was designed to do. And that's where I get excited about this, is because we're seeing that convergence of what people are wanting, and we have solutions. Oxidative stress, coming from the finance guy, is simply this: it's bad, right? You don't want to leave it unchecked inside of the body. And so reducing oxidative stress is good. And there isn't a pharmaceutical or a nutraceutical product on the market at all, drugs or nutraceutical, that does it better than Protandim NRF2, reducing it 40% on average in 30 days and up to 70%. And we've been in this for over a decade, and that's where I get excited, because we're still dominating that part of the marketplace. And then I just want to touch on the business a little bit. 90% of our business, you guys, is customer based. And I love that for the simple fact, if you don't see the business like I see it, just become a customer. But there's people out there that are searching for something different, searching for change, searching for something either in addition or something to replace what they're currently doing. And this window of opportunity to me is wide open, and more wide open than I've seen in years, especially because of our collagen product right now and the changes we're seeing in people. The business is exploding. The company is exploding. We're on the NASDAQ, you guys. I'll share some slides with you. I'd love to just sit here and talk, but I do have to share a few slides with you. So I'll share these too as I'm talking to you. But we're in that environment where things are different. And we're in what's referred to as this social or gig economy as well too. So you recognize some of these names that have really disrupted how we do business. But I really want to highlight what's going on in the marketplace on how people acquire goods, because it has drastically changed over the last decade. And I think it was fast forwarded even more when we were sitting in our homes for the last couple of years with a forced change. So when we look at like 2018, I believe it was, there were more toys sold in the world that year than ever before. But one of the largest toy sellers ever went out of business. They went bankrupt, Toys R Us. Why did that happen, you guys? What's the explanation? It's in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen right now, Amazon. Amazon disrupted how people buy and acquire goods and changed the course of how we do business. And so even though they sold more toys than ever before in 2018 worldwide, Toys R Us, which I grew up as a Toys R Us kid in the 70s and 80s, right? And they went out of business. And so I look at past examples on how we're going to further business. Well, what is Amazon, you guys? It's a bunch of distribution centers that ship product directly to a consumer. Well, that's exactly what this network marketing model does, only our specialty is in nutraceuticals. That's how we're getting it to you. They tried selling this in GNC and CVS and Rite Aids, and it sat on the shelves. You know, in 2005, people weren't going into GNC and asking for something to reduce free radicals or oxidative stress. And I don't think even in 2022, anybody's doing that. It has a story that needs to be told by people like Dr. Melody. And then when we look at this business, you guys, I am so excited by the fact that we're a publicly traded company. We're on the NASDAQ. I don't know who can argue with me that the NASDAQ isn't a reputable group of companies that are doing things right. So LifeVantage is on the NASDAQ now. We've had 20 years of product manufacturing, $2 billion worth of products sold. But here's the thing, is it's still a secret. I used to hold my security licenses. I did portfolio management. And I can tell you that a $200 million company is not a big company. We still are on the precipice of exploding. We're going to go from 200 million to 500 million to $1 billion. It just hasn't happened yet. And when you look at the financials, there's not a lot of companies that can claim to be debt-free like we are. And that puts us into a fantastic position for accelerated growth, especially with what's going on right now. And when you look at network marketing in general, you guys, if you have under 100,000 distributors, it's considered a once in a lifetime opportunity. There's not too many times that you're going to find a stable company that's debt-free that still has as little as far as distributors go out there. And again, when I first heard about all of this, I was skeptical. My wife drugged me to a meeting. After we watched the ABC primetime video, I was super excited about what we had, but I didn't understand the business model and I had a negative connotation attached to it. But again, I was open-mindedly skeptical enough to look at the information, see where it sat in our lives. And I'll never, ever forget sitting there thinking, what if? What if the information that I'm hearing is even half true and I don't act on it? And I see other people around me who heard the same information take advantage of it. It scared me to death. Or what if one of my friends needed to know about this information and I didn't share it with them? That's what we're in the business of, is sharing information. Some people see it and they're going to love it. Others are going to have questions. Some people it's not for them, and that's okay. But I can tell you, I don't know any other opportunity. And we've done a lot of business between Michelle and I. We've done a lot of business, and I don't know anything else that's come into our life that we could have had the same impact on so many people. One of the times that I was coming back from New York on a Friday night to South Dakota, we went to the lake, and over that weekend, I got to spend probably 36 hours with my family. And my oldest daughter, Callista, as I was getting ready to go back to New York, she looked at me and she pulled on my shorts and she said, "Dad, don't go back." And it absolutely crushed my heart because I didn't have options. And that's what I want for each and every one of you, is to have enough education to understand if this is for you, to provide options that maybe you don't have. And even if you're in a good spot, I promise you this, you have friends and family going to bed tonight that are praying for something to change next month, because they don't know how on the 1st that they're going to pay their bills. They don't know how they're going to make it through another holiday season and celebrate the way that they want to celebrate. This world has changed, and if you don't change, nothing's going to change. I'm not going to get into the ins and outs of our compensation plan. Just know it's amazing. It's incredible. The part on the right absolutely blew my mind, because in network marketing, some of the myths is that only the people at the top make money. And this shows that regardless when you get in, what number distributor you are, you can actually participate in all the work that's ever been done. Okay, what they do is they take 4% of the global commissionable volume and they put it into 1% segments where all the Pro 7s, 8, 9s, and 10s in the company share 1%. The 8, 9s, and 10s a second percent, the 9s and 10s a third, and the Pro 10s 1% between them. And again, it doesn't matter who's in whose group, we're out to help more people get exposed to this information and integrate the products into their health strategy. And it breaks down that silo effect you might see in other companies. What I didn't understand was the income potential that's possible. It takes work, energy, effort, just like anything else. But I told Michelle that if we were successful network marketers, we were going to get a $20 check and go celebrate with a red box movie and a bottle of wine. And we'd be professional network marketers. What I didn't realize, because this information wasn't available at the time that we were joining, is that there's real income attached to this. And I think more than ever before, people are looking for some of that supplemental income. And if you look at the ranks of Pro 1, 2, 3, $60 a month, almost $240, $645, that's the difference between some people making it through a month. When I was managing the student loan, the defaulted portfolio there, roughly $750 million worth of defaulted loans back then. And what I knew about bankruptcy was this: the average bankruptcy could be avoided with an extra couple $100s a month. That's crazy, you guys. A couple $100s a month could be the difference between being bankrupt or not. And then look at the ranks of Pro 4 or 5, $1,500, over $3,000 a month. Look at the retirement world now compared to what it was 30, 40 years ago. The baby boomers didn't expect to see what they're seeing now. And so if we can roadmap out for them an additional way to make $1,500 or $3,000, I think a lot of people will be interested. And then there's people like me. I needed to replace full-time income to get my life back. I wanted to be the dad I wanted to be. I wanted to be the husband I should be. But the reality is that environment was crushing my soul. We quickly went through the ranks. And I'm not saying this to brag about anything that we've done, but in 12 months, we are at Elite Pro 7. The average Pro 7 is making $13,000 a month. You guys, we had no experience. Again, I want to highlight that. We didn't know this business model, and we didn't know the first thing about network marketing, but we worked together with other people to expose the information and see where it fit in with others' lives. 12 months after that, we were Elite Pro 8. 12 months after that, we had 2 Pro 8 positions. We currently have one that's Pro 9, one that's Pro 8, one that has Pro 7 volume. And again, I'm not saying that to brag about it. What I'm telling you is that it's possible. Because if other people have done it, you can do it too. And that might not be the driving force for you. Again, for us, we got in because we wanted to help my wife's health. We wanted to be proactive in maintaining my health and help as many people as we possibly could. And all of a sudden, the checks started coming in just from us sharing, because the more people that heard the information, the more people that wanted to see what it would do for them. And I'm telling you, you get collagen, Protandim NRF2, or the Trisynergizer into your body for 60 to 90 days, you're going to see some incredible things happening. Okay. Couple different ways to get into the business. You can just get in as a customer. Again, get back with the person that invited this, invited you to hear this. But if you're thinking about other people that need to hear this, or you're looking for something to change in your life on the business side of things, there's 3 different packs that you can get involved with. We've got the Premier Pack that's $299, the Glow Enrollment Pack $375, and then the Elite Pack $999. If I was getting in again tomorrow, I would get that Elite Pack because it comes with all the product line, and you can experience what each one of those products do. But get in where it fits in with your life. And I really want to highlight, you guys, that we're in an environment where things are changing. And it's up to you to do something with it or watch other people experience a change in their life because they act on it. And that's what I get so excited about, because again, as I stated at the very beginning, the window of opportunity for this is wide open. It's so wide open. And we're here to lock arms with you. In a traditional business, you're kind of on your own. In the corporate environment where I was trading time for money, you guys, I wasn't encouraged to tell people why I was good at what I did, because the next raise, the next promotion, that leveled the playing field. In this business, success is derived from helping other people achieve success. That's how life in general should be lived. If you help other people, good things come to you. And we don't just do this as a business, you guys. We do this as a way of life. We do this to live life on our terms. Activation is so important inside of the body, but I'm telling you, these people that are on the screen, a lot of them we travel the world with. And there isn't one marketplace that I've ever set foot in, whether it's the Philippines, Australia, Canada, Mexico, all over the US, Europe. There's not one marketplace that I've ever set foot in that if you ask the average person what Protandim NRF2 is, or that NRF2 pathway, that would have any idea what you're talking about. But again, I think in 5 years from now, it isn't a question of if you're upregulating and downregulating genes, it's how are you doing it? So I want you to ask yourself that question again. What if? What if everything that Dr. Melody told you isn't just all that, but it's a little bit better? That there's going to be more research that comes out, that you're going to find out more stories about what this liquid collagen is doing inside of people's bodies. It's about changing the world. And where do you want to fit in with that? So get back with the person that introduced this to you and let them know where you stand. Sometimes that's the hardest question for them to ask is, what did you like about it? Do you want to be a customer, or do you want to lock arms and do the business and bless people with this? So just get back to them, let them know. We're all here to support. If there's any questions that we can help answer, have the person that got this introduced to you, get them connected with us, and we can definitely help you answer any questions. We're 100% open books. We'll tell you the good, the bad, the ugly about anything that you want to know, because it's important. We've been there. I was in a position in my mid-30s where I was looking in the mirror saying, I thought I was going to have a different life at this point. And now we have it. We're so blessed that this fell into our lap, but we're even more blessed that even though I was open-mindedly skeptical about this, I did something with the information that I heard, because our life looks very different. My wife's health looks very different. My joy in life is very different. My kids' life, they don't know me as that corporate guy. They know me as a network marketer. And I love that aspect because, again, we do life to help improve other people's lives. So thank you for taking time out, Dr. Melody. You are absolutely incredible. Thank you for taking time tonight to bless all of these people. Again, we're here to serve and help you guys in any capacity that we can. Have an amazing, amazing night, and thank you.